What's up, everybody? Peter X Coffee here, and welcome to another episode of Classic Songs. And so today I'm doing the Eagles Hotel California. Now I know, you know, the Eagles have sold a lot of albums over the years, but there is a subset of folks, boomers who can't stand Eagles. Obviously, I'm not one of them. I think there's some Gen Xers that don't like the Eagles either. Um, Hey, I'm not one of them, and I'm just putting that out there because I'm sure y'all have run into the Eagles haters. Um, hey, I'm they sold a lot of albums, they sold a lot of records for a reason. I like them. I mean, they brought in, they brought genres. If you watch the channel, I like folks who go across genres, and the Eagles brought in rock and country and uh Blue Eyed Soul. I mean, Heartache Tonight. I can't tell you why. Uh, the Best of My Love. I mean, there's a little, that's some Blue Eyed Soul, and obviously Hotel California, Life in the Fast Lane, rock and roll, and then Desperado Country. Hey, I like a variety. I can roll all day with the Eagles. All right, long song, clocks in at 6:30. 6 minutes 30 seconds. The record company wanted them to shorten it. Surprise, surprise. I mean, go back, and listen to my and go watch the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. They wanted to shorten that too. The Eagles put their foot down and said no way. Thank goodness. The song did hit number one. The album was released in 1976. Same name. Let's see here. So this clocks in at 49 on the top 500 songs of all time on Rolling Stone. Don Henley is the vocalist on this song as well. So this song was written in three stages. Don Felder did a demo of the rough guitar outline of it. And it's interesting because, there's a little bit of organ, but this is a very guitar oriented song. And it's acoustic guitars. You have some 12-string acoustics in here. You got, and different electrics too. And so, there's just a really rich guitar sound that I really love. It's definitely rock, but there's so much going on with the guitars, and I love it. So Don Felder came up with a demo and the scratch guitar on it, and I think it changed. Was not able to find that demo, but from the description, it did change a little. They used a drum machine as well, so this must have been an early rudimentary drum machine. The second, phase in the process was Glen Frey, and they gave an outline, and essentially, and this is what I think is captivating, so captivating about this song, and even probably not the Eagles haters, but the people who aren't real big fans of the Eagles still like this song because of this aspect. But Glenn Frey kind of you know came up with the concept of driving down the highway, and he said, I want to kind of want this sound to be, kind of out of the Twilight Zone, and so he gave the concept, and then Don Henley wrote the lyrics. So yeah, an interesting, direction and metamorphosis of this song. So originally, the song had uh, a Latin reggae feel to it. So the working title was Mexican reggae, believe it or not. And in one of the cover songs I'm gonna talk about later, they kind of revisit that a little bit. So here's where the song gets interesting. How are you going to interpret this song? And there's many interpretations of the song. That's why I think the song is so fascinating. Um, the Eagles have said that this song is about the high life of in Los Angeles. None of the band members were from Los Angeles, so this is their take on the rock and roll lifestyle and the party scene in California in the mid 70s. A lot of you know uh, haters of the Eagles basically, yeah, the Eagles, they represent the decadence of the 70s, not just this song, but in general. So, and maybe, this is their flagship song, and maybe, that's just the Eagles. That's what they're, I don't know. But, again, there's so many interpretations. There's a lot of symbolism going on here, and allegories and stuff. So it's really interesting. So at the time, too, the band was spending a lot of time at the Beverly Hills Hotel. So that's why they came up with Hotel California. Now, the band, um, they purposely wanted to have an open-ended meaning to the song. And so, so people kind of could use their imagination and come up with meanings, which is, it's not done a lot today. Um, I think I wish it was, but I mean, the 70s was just a different time. It was, pre-internet and pre-24-hour news. I mean, the world's nuts today, and I'm not sure how people want to. Hey, well, what the hell does this song mean anyway? I mean, people don't, they don't have time for that. Now that isn't, I put a lot of I put, this stuff in some of my songs. I don't care, but I think if you came even with a 2.5 minute, 3 minute version of a song with a lot of metaphors and symbolism, folks, the record company would be like, I don't know if this is, give them, tell them what's going on. That's why I'm not with the record company. So anyway, yeah, so they wanted to have an open-ended meeting, and let me give you this quote. They said the lyrics had perfect ambiguity. So yeah, they had a goal, and I think they accomplished it. One interesting tidbit of information, somebody approached the Eagles in the 70s and wanted to do a movie based on the song Hotel California. Band was like, nah, we're good. Mm-mm. So that's an interesting tidbit. So there's a lot of variations. One of the more interesting is that it's um, Satan worship and that it's a devil. Nah, I think there's aspects of that in there, but it's a more complicated song and than that. But conflict, darkness versus light, good versus evil. That's very prevalent in the song, and there's so much to dig into. Now there's this line: stabbed them with their steely knives, and they just couldn't kill the beast. So their manager at the time also managed Steely Dan, and Steely Dan on their previous record, probably 75, had a line where, turn up the volume of the Eagles so the neighbors can hear it. And so, because one of the Steely Dan members at the time, girlfriend loved the Eagles, and then they broke up. So, so it was a playful shot back at them. Maybe I don't know if they had a big rivalry, reading, or, now, Steely Dan would kind of slyly, throw shade sometimes in their lyrics at other bands. But, nothing like hip hop, no Kendrick Lamar Drake here. I don't know if they got along or whether they didn't, but, Steely Dan, would subtly throw shade at times. Other themes people associate with the song: narcissism, self-destruction, um, drug abuse, and drug dependency. I mean, that's certainly, you can get that in the song, but the song, the lyrically, it's so rich that you can't say the entire song's about that, but it does touch on those points as well. So lyrically, this song is so good that you literally have to go through all the lyrics. And so I'm gonna sing them. People, a couple folks, would talk about them and then critique as they went, and it kind of the critique and the lyrics kind of blended together. So I decided to sing it and then critique each verse. So here's verse one. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm swell of colitas rising up in the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. So yeah, so that's verse 1. One of the other, folks that I looked at, in doing this song, immediately points out that in the lyrics you have touch, smell, and sight. So you have 3 of the 5 sentences already, you know, racking your brain there. My take on this was, you know, a desert siren. I mean, we know about the mythology of the siren in the sea and the voice calling and the ship crashing in the ocean because the siren's voice is so seductive and sinking all the sailors on the ship die. So to me, there's a little bit of the seductress going on in this first verse. Second verse, there she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell. I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up the candle and she showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, hey. So yeah, I look at this verse as again the seductress aspect, but there's 2 really important lines I think that grab me, that stand out, and this line, "This could be heaven or this could be hell." That's kind of like what always I always go back to when I hear this song or think about this song because it's very seductive and when you listen, it's like, wow, this is a really interesting place. I want to hang out here. But then you're like, if I hang out here, something bad's going to happen. So there's aspects of heaven in here, and there's also aspects of hell. And, so I always ask myself, hey, if I ever, came across this place, would I go in? Contextual, I guess. Hey, and if you get sci-fi and go in there in the Wachowskis and the Matrix, where we're living in a matrix or a digital reality, and there are even a few scientists now that are starting to believe that maybe we already are living in this sort of a hotel, a California experience, something like that, and it's all in perspective and how we see things. But yeah, that's the line. And going back to that first verse, driving down the road. I mean, that was going back to the issue of the concept, in that second phase of the song, the demo, and the guitar, and then the concept, and then the lyrics. That was the concept, and that's also why the thumbnail I used, of the highway in the dark. I thought that would, it kind of draws you in, and it kind of is I always try to somehow connect these thumbnails, not always, but that's the goal, the thumbnails to something in the song. All right, so we got the iconic chorus. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. Any time of year, you can find it here. So what stands out here to me is the such a lovely face, because that's usually female, that's usually seductive, so that's the takeaway from the chorus. So verse 3, her mind is Tiffany twisted, she got the Mercedes Benz, she got a lot of pretty boys, that she called friends. How they dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. Again, to me, my take is that seductress aspect, and then the party starting, and this is kind of the hell starting to slit this that heaven and hell line. Here's where the hell starts to creep in. So I called up the captain, please bring me wine. He said we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. And still those voices are calling from far away. Wake you up in the middle of the night just to hear them say. And so then we go back into the chorus. And so here we, in this portion of the song, we're going, the siren is getting, the pull of the siren's getting more powerful. But that underside, the light, and the dark is starting to seep in stronger. And we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. So that's kind of, a teaspoon of sugar or honey trying to get you to get, to commit further into all this. But there's still voices calling from far away. So yeah, this is getting deeper, and this journey is awesome. Verse 5. This is when it starts getting real deep. Mirrors on the ceiling, the pink champagne on ice, and she said, "We're all just prisoners here of our own device, and in the master's chambers they gathered for the feast. They stabbed it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast." Yeah, that's some stuff there. Yeah, so shit got real. That's where people, get the Satan worship out of. And again, I'm not gonna argue with it in this verse. This is definitely hell. This is the bad part of the Hotel California. And, they hint to it, but hey, this is wow. This is it. The great metaphors, the master's chambers, and then you have trying to kill the beast and the steely knives, but you can't kill them. The whole thing about, alluding to the prisoner, we're all prisoners here. And then you got, starts off with mirrors on the ceiling, self-reflection, reflection, yada, 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 pink champagne on ice, luxury. So yeah, man, this is when the shit gets deep, and this is really, but it's a build up, and it's the whole, the whole walking through this, and it gets weirder and weirder and worse as you get deeper into this hotel. The final verse. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find a passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the night man. We are programmed to receive. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. That's when the iconic guitar solo starts. But the other iconic line is where it ends. We are, you can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. Man, that's deep. I don't want to be in that place. I don't know about you, but wow, what a journey lyrically this song takes. I usually don't go through lyrics on a song. It's the first time I've done it, but I had to do it with this song. And, this song was released in 1976. Here we are sitting in 2024. 2 years, another 2 years, it's gonna be 50 years, and this song still captivates people and fascinates people. Man, masterpiece. And I don't care. And even as I said, a lot of people who aren't huge Eagle fans still, get sucked in with this song because it's just that damn good. Now I found three covers of this version. If you're an R&B fan from the 80s, I'll be sure his okay. I don't know. It wasn't a big hit. And I'll be sure had bigger hits. You know, don't hate it, but I would call it mediocre. Um, Paul Canny did an acoustic version of it, and I really liked his version. And, in the middle, he subtly brings in Latin drums. It's interesting music. He obviously did some research on the early beginnings of the song and kind of subtly brought that in there. And then the other version is by the Killers. I think they must have done in 2010. And they bring in some of the Mexican horns from traditional Mexican music at times that really kind of gives it a different flavor. And I kind of I like that version. So I like the Killers version and Paul Canny's version. Is it, can it mess with the Eagles? No, but I mean, it's the fucking Eagles, man. But I like their takes on it. So anyway, this is a fun song. Glad I did it. Hey, to the Eagles haters, hey, it's a free country in America, and outside America, you're free to, at least as far as I'm concerned, you're free to like or dislike any music you want. But I like the Eagles and I like this song. So thanks for coming through. I got 5 albums out of my own, and like the Eagles, I'm doing all kinds of genres and stuff and just having fun. They're on this, my YouTube channel, but I'm on all the streaming services. I also, have some science fiction fantasy novels. I have 2 on Amazon and a novella. So thanks for coming through, and I will see you next episode.